Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and restless French twist. Spoiler, crashes Dumas. Party with bad news. Plus, a scandal is afoot. There are more twists and turns to this Aristotle Dumas storyline than we ever saw coming, and Young and Restless just shared a new spoiler video chock full of teasers and fun behind the scenes footage. Who will show up uninvited? Who was invited that we didn't even know about? What scandal might unfold? Keep reading for answers. Amid a sea of cool behind-the-scenes footage that explains how the train car set was designed, and delivers laughs via cast members like Joshua Morrow, Nick, hugging a table he's pretending is Abby, comes a slew of delicious spoilers about the upcoming scenes in the French Riviera. Let's start with the guest we didn't even know was invited. Chance Chancellor, Connor Floyd, doffs his detective gear and dons a dress shirt to make the trip to Nice, France, and is seen mingling with the other guests at the Maze cocktail hour. Let the speculation begin about why he's there. Of course, we know Dumas is interested in Chancellor Inc., which was Chance's grandmother's legacy, so perhaps that's a clue. Next up, Kyle and Audra each believe they're playing the other, but it appears the lines may become blurred for the former lovers, as this video hints at a possible hookup between the two, with Kyle's portrayer Michael Mueller teasing, "What happens in Nice, stays in Nice." Maybe Diane does have something to worry about after all. Finally, and perhaps the most intriguing of the spoilers in the clip, is Adam turning up in Victor and Nikki's train car in France. Sweaty and clearly alarmed, Adam literally climbed mountains to deliver some bad news to his dad that he won't like one bit. Why do we suspect this will have to do with Chancellor Inc.? Is Nikki out of a job? In the rarefied air of the Genoa City Athletic Club's rooftop, Aristotle Dumas stood at the apex of power and perception. The night was everything he'd hoped for: opulent, strategic, and meticulously orchestrated. Silk-draped tables sparkled beneath suspended crystal lanterns. High society elite clinked champagne flutes while the who's who of Genoa City circulated in designer attire. From the Newman and Abbott clans to the Chancellor Winter's inner circle, this wasn't just a party. It was a performance, and Dumas was the star. Or so he thought. He'd barely finished shaking hands with Victor Newman, whose begrudging nod had come with an underlying warning, when the uninvited guest arrived. The double doors to the rooftop swung open with cinematic timing. Gasps rippled through the crowd. In stepped none other than Claire Grace, her expression tight, her dress soaked from the June rain, and in her hand, a flash drive that would detonate more than champagne corks. "Aristotle," she called out. Eyes scanning the stunned crowd, "We need to talk now." The DJ cut the music. All eyes snapped to Dumas, whose suave smile faltered. A French twist was coming, and it would unravel more than just hair. Claire's shocking revelation. For weeks, viewers had speculated where Claire had gone after her cryptic departure from Newman Media. Rumors swirled: rehab, revenge, or perhaps a clandestine alliance with someone even more powerful. But no one expected her to reappear in Paris, nor that she'd return to Genoa City with a ticking time bomb of information. "Tell them what you did," Claire demanded, facing Dumas with the bravery of someone who had nothing left to lose. "I don't know what you're implying." "Tell them," she repeated, before tossing the flash drive onto the bar. "Play it." As Nick and Sharon moved to intervene, Audra Charles, ever the opportunist, plugged the drive into her tablet. Her brows lifted as a grainy video loaded. What followed was a devastating blow. The footage showed Dumas, weeks prior in Paris, offering a bribe to an international broker. His goal? To sabotage Chancellor Winter's European expansion, while profiting through shell corporations tied back to Newman Media. The betrayal spanned corporate espionage, identity laundering, and, worst of all for the attendees present, personal betrayal. Dumas had orchestrated several relationships with key figures only to gain insider access. Phyllis whispered, a stunned, "That snake." Victor narrowed his eyes. "He played us all." The fallout begins. The fallout from Claire's reveal rippled. Instantly, Nikki Newman, who had recently vouched for Dumas during a strategic alliance with the Abbott family, was furious. She stormed out without a word. Devon Hamilton, whose business had been undercut in the European markets, confronted Dumas directly. "You used me," Devon accused, his voice taut with fury. "You smiled in my face while you stabbed us in the back." Billy Abbott was more calculated. Watching Dumas's cool exterior begin to fracture, he leaned toward Lily. "Now might be a good time to call in our Parisian contact. If this blows wide open, we'll need more than video. We'll need paperwork." Lily nodded, stunned silent. Her instincts racing to keep up with the collapse of what she had helped build. Across the room, Summer Newman and Kyle Abbott watched in silence, unease flickering in their eyes. Summer leaned closer. "You still think bringing him into Marchetti was a good idea?" Kyle didn't respond. His jaw was tight. He knew this would cost them both, and their tenuous truce was about to be stress-tested, the French connection back. In Paris, Claire hadn't just stumbled upon the video, she'd been led to it. While laying low, she'd been approached by Dominique Renard, a high-level European business executive and former partner of Dumas who had his own vendetta. Dumas betrayed more than just your company, Dominique had warned her. He destroyed lives in Marseille, cheated families in Bordeaux, and he's set to do the same in Genoa City. Unless someone stops him. Their partnership became one of unlikely trust and unshakable leverage. With Dominique's evidence and Claire's insider knowledge, they compiled a dossier linking Dumas to several shell firms, as well as backroom meetings involving illegal bidding practices. It painted a damning picture, one that Claire had been willing to risk everything to bring forward, and now, it was only a matter of time before the other shoe dropped. Victor's wrath. Phyllis's move back in Genoa City. Victor Newman didn't waste a second. He called in Michael Baldwin, ordered a full internal audit, and, with a steely voice, muttered the words everyone knew spelled doom. No one humiliates the Newmans and walks away. Michael warned him about due process, but Victor wasn't interested in patience. Dumas had charmed his way into every facet of Genoa City's power structure. Now he was about to be dismantled from all sides. Phyllis, meanwhile, saw an opportunity. She met with Jack Abbott the next morning with a proposition. What if we turn Dumas' downfall into Marchetti's renaissance? I have a contact in Milan. We buy back control, clean, and let Claire tell her side to the press. The story will sell itself. Redemption sells. Jack raised a brow. You're surprisingly composed, considering. She grinned, deadly. Darling, I've been waiting for this moment since the day he flirted with Diane Jenkins in front of me. A scandal unspools as Genoa City began dissecting Dumas' betrayal. An even bigger scandal came to light. Thanks to Claire's dossier, it became evident that someone had been feeding Dumas information from within Newman Enterprises. Someone with high-level clearance. Someone trusted. Suspicions immediately turned to Nate Hastings. Having been on the outs with both the Winters family and the Newmans, and having recently reconnected with Audra, his hands were dirty, or at least smudged, but the twist, it wasn't Nate. It was Victoria Newman. The bombshell dropped like a thunderclap. Turns out, Victoria had been engaging in strategic information sharing with Dumas in hopes of strengthening her leverage should Victor ever attempt to sideline her again. She hadn't known how far Dumas would go, or what he was truly capable of. When confronted, her defense was icy. I made a calculated move. But I never greenlit fraud. Sharon was the first to respond. Then you'd better hope that's enough to keep you out of prison. Billy, Lily, and the end of the affair? While the scandal swirled around Dumas, another storm brewed in silence, the impact on Billy and Lily. With Dumas exposed and the company compromised, so too was the foundation of their recent reunion. Lily pulled away. You said he was clean. I said he was useful, Billy replied, defensive. There's a difference. There shouldn't be, she snapped, her voice cracking. Not anymore. Their relationship, recently rekindled, but fragile, now teetered. Billy's gamble had once again jeopardized her trust. And for Lily, trust is everything. Claire's redemption. The next morning, Claire sat for an interview with a major media outlet. She told the whole story, how Dumas had charmed, manipulated, and used her. How she'd nearly stayed silent. How, ultimately, she realized that staying quiet would have made her complicit. The interview trended within hours. Public opinion began shifting. She wasn't the villain. She was the whistleblower. In the days that followed, Newman Media's board initiated an emergency restructuring. Audra was placed on temporary leave. Dumas vanished, reportedly to Geneva, though Interpol issued an interest notice. And Claire? She was offered a second chance, from Sharon. Come work with me, Sharon said softly. You've earned your redemption. Let's build something that matters. Claire's eyes welled up. I'd like that. Dumas' final move. Just when the dust began to settle, the final shock came.